So this is the most infuriating Laravel issue I've ever had. And admittedly, it's probably because I am dumb and don't know how queues work at a basic level, but I wish it was documented better. So this is why I'm making this video. I've already had created my Medium article where you can read about this as well, but really quick. If you have a long-running job, let's say it's it's called slow job, right? And the job's name is A. The slow job, all it does is it sleeps for 10 seconds, 3 times, tells you how long it slept, and yeah, it does some important work. So you want it to do the important work, right? Furthermore, as you do have a lot of other jobs that need to go fast and go parallel, you do have queue work running 2 times. I'm gonna explain the values in a bit. So we have queue work. Well, ignore the 2 queues. Let's imagine it's only the default queue. Sleep, it's just how long does the job sleep if there's the worker sleep, sorry, if there's no job available. Tries 1 is very important for this test specifically, so I only need 2 workers. Tries 1 means a job is only tried 1 time, and as soon as the second try starts, it's marked as failed. Now the timeout is important as well. This usually only happens if you have a high timeout. Well, if you set some other value than the default value, this might happen to you. Admittedly, only if you set larger than the default value, but I'm gonna show you what happens. We're gonna dispatch this slow job command that I have created here. All it does is dispatch this job once, and then we're gonna look at the workers and see what happens. So in a moment, one worker picks it up, the job runs, and it's only one job, so why is it still running here and it already failed in another worker? This was crazy to me. I thought, okay, surely I need to know why this happens. I thought it would be a memory leak or something else, something weird, some weird behavior. I was working with a crawler, and I was pretty sure it was a memory leak. I started analyzing everything. It was not a memory leak. And after a lot of Googling and some ChatGPT, I was able to find the issue in the best guide there is about queues, which is Laravel Queues in Action, which is the best guide ever for anything queue related. If you want to learn more, you should definitely buy that guide. So you see the job actually ran all the way, which I didn't see when debugging, which I should have looked for, because, well, now if we look at our laravel.log, we see only the one. Well, this is not a very interesting logging now that I only have one job, but you see it ran all the way, everything worked great, and the other one just failed instantly. Why does this happen? Well, there is a little value which is called, let's scroll, no, there it is, dbq retry after. What is this value and why do you need it? This is a value which is kind of like a cache lock safety. When you have a job running, you might have a memory leak, which could happen. And if that memory leak happens, the queue worker which picked up the job never releases it back to the queue. And what will happen if there's no time frame set for other workers to then say, okay, it seems no one is working on this, I'll work on it, then this job would be lost forever. So this is pretty much just a value to say, okay, if this many seconds pass, you can safely assume the job has failed in some way that wasn't able to be recovered from. Default is 90 seconds. If you go into your config queue.php, the default is 90 seconds. I recommend to just increase the value to at least whatever you set your timeout value to. So you can never run into this issue. This is bad potentially if you only have one long-running job and then all other jobs are short, because whenever a usually slow job would block the queue for this long, then no other workers are going to pick it up if it fails in an unrecoverable way, which, well, is bad for your throughput. So let's see, if we actually increase this to, well, 90 should be fine, right? That's the default volume. We could remove it instead and run this again. But we need to also restart our workers because otherwise they don't get the new values. Let's actually clear both, right? And dispatch again. Now we should see that, again, one worker picks it up, but now that we have the larger value that is larger than, well, not our timeout value in this case because it's 3,600 seconds, but I do know my job will only run for 30 seconds max, so 30 would be the safe value in this case. We're at 90, so this job should run for exactly 30 seconds and then finish running, be done, and we have no issues. I wish I didn't spend 2 days finding out why this happens, but it's very hard to debug, so I felt there should be a video about this, so maybe you find it and then you remember someday in the future, whenever you run into this issue, that, well, you just need to increase the timeout value. Well, the retry after value. The timeout value you shouldn't increase too far. There's another way to work around. If you have one long-running job, you could create a new second database connection and then dispatch on that connection, like database long, right? And then you dispatch the long job only on the one which has the long timeout value. Like you can set this to, to something like 1,800, and then that job will actually run for this long. Well, you don't need the env, obviously. And then you also would need to cast it to int. So yeah, you just retry after 180 seconds if that is how long you want your timeout value for this one long queue, and then the other one can use the default connection. Beware though that you can only run workers for one connection. You cannot use one worker for multiple connections, so you will have to run an extra worker for this one connection. Again, you should absolutely buy and read through all of Laravel queues in action. It's super valuable. I've read through it and I've read exactly that part, and I thought I need to remember this because this is very, this might hurt me in the future. And then I didn't remember it. So don't be like me. Actually remember what I said. And yeah, see you next time.